I am so thrilled to have a good friend of mine in studio. He is retired Chicago Police Lieutenant John Garrido. He usually brings in Sergeant Rubble, his rescue dog, but today we have a new furry friend. Is this Captain?
This is Captain, yes.
Captain. What kind of dog is Captain?
Captain is a shepherd mix. He's got one blue eye, one brown eye, and he's about a year old.
He is beautiful.
He's a sweet dog. He is ready for adoption. He was found running in the street at Milwaukee and Devon. We did everything to try to find his family because, that's our primary focus for Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, he was shared over, I think, 600 times on social media. Posters were put up, flyers, and nobody came forward for him.
Gorgeous, this dog. We're gonna we'll put a picture up on the website too.
Perfect.
Before we get into the issues of the city and everything going on, I want to talk Monster Bash with you. But first, Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation. You're doing God's work. I mean, you are really just an angel on earth. You and your wife and your family. Tell us about the GSRF.
So the Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation, we started unofficially in about 2014, but then we became official in 2017. And it started with our dog Pedro that we rescued from Belize. And from there, it's just grown, and we've got probably, I think, 18,000 followers now. And it's just this amazing network of people that have come together to help us with our primary focus, and that's to get lost pets back home to their families. And we deal with about 250 to 300 dogs a year, and we're at about 89% return to owner rate, which is
really
amazing. And that's in large part because of the network, because people are able to share and help find and get these dogs back home. And then that other 11% is a mix between abused dogs or dogs that we just don't find their families because either people microchip the dog but didn't update and register their chip,
right?
Which is happening more and more often. We're seeing
it sure does.
People just they think it's a GPS,
right?
And it's not.
And you told me that too when we rescued our dog last year. You said to me, immediately go on, and I'm glad I did because there's different services and whatnot, but they all register. If someone finds your dog, just call and double check, because when I called my dog was registered to a previous owner, and I went through pause, and they said we didn't want to return the dog to the previous owner. They were just not very nice to her.
Yeah, so absolutely, and that's a big part of it. And then some people just don't know where to look for their dogs. Always check, if you lose your dog, check with the local police station, and then animal care and control. That's where usually they're going to end up.
Yeah.
Which is on 2700 Southwestern. But it's incredible just how so many people just don't know, even with all the social media out there and all that, you'd just be surprised. There's a lot of people just, they don't know where to go search for their animals, and not everybody's on social media.
Right. Absolutely. So if you do find a stray dog, or if you lose your dog, is the best thing to call the police immediately?
Yes, and if you find a dog, especially take it to either a police station or a local vet, but your police station in the area where you found the dog, because that's where the family is going to be looking for their dog. Every single police district in Chicago, they have 2 scanners, so they can scan for a microchip. Your local vet can also scan for a microchip. And then if they don't have one, like I said, at the police station, we were able to, working together with our supervisors at the time, we're able to change. What are you doing, buddy?
Oh my God, that is the sweetest dog. Somebody has to adopt this beautiful dog.
I
might go home with
part
him.
on the counter and part on the chair, and wanting to get on my lap.
And what a good boy.
Yeah, he's 42 pounds. So he thinks he's a lap dog. And he's not super huge, but that's the thing is you want to get your local police station involved so they have the information about the dog. And when we were able to get that policy with the police department changed, so not all animals have to go directly to animal control. Many do, but they can also have the option. The police have an option of sending the dogs or cats to a local to an approved stray hold rescue, which is like us, Paws Chicago, Animal Welfare League,
better.
Treehouse.
I'd rather have them come to you.
Yeah,
and
it's animal control is inundated.
Of course,
inundated. They only have 225 kennels, actual physical kennels, and then they have temporary ones for smaller dogs.
Yeah, they
are at capacity, and it just seems like it's getting more and more. Rescues are pulling less dogs, just for whatever reason. We're inundated. I mean, we're getting animals coming in all the time. And the dogs that are coming in now are too big even for the temporary kennels, so they just run out of space, and unfortunately they do have to euthanize for space. Also taking up space there, they have over 25 or 30 dogs that are court case dogs. I don't know what can be done to expedite those cases. The state's attorney's office, needs to make them I know they have a lot of things going on, but those cases need to move forward because those animals belong to somebody and they were either taken because of abuse or whatnot. And the dogs can't go anywhere. They can't be adopted. They can't do anything with them until those cases are done. So they need to expedite those cases. That would free up 25 or 30 kennels at Animal Care and Control.
Absolutely. Again, you are doing God's work. Can you hang out for a little bit? Because I want to talk to you more about Patty and everything you're doing in the Monster Bash for tonight. As retired Lieutenant John Garrido's in studio with us today. And on the Big 89 WLS, Andrea Darlas in for Steve Cochran. I'm with my friend, retired Chicago Police Lieutenant John Garrido, and Captain, beautiful, beautiful Captain, is up for adoption currently. You run the Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation. Tell us about Patty. You sent me a picture of this beautiful. Is she a Yorkie?
Yes, Patty is a.
Captain wants to talk.
Get on the mic. Yeah, Captain's knocking things out of the way.
Captain's like, I'm here, man.
All right. Patty's a Yorkie. I think they call it like a silky Yorkie. She's got that real silky fur.
Yeah, little.
She's about 2.5 pounds, maybe about 2 to 3 years old. She was found by Wilmette police officers. She was found with 2 broken legs. She's got a broken femur. And her rear right leg, and her front leg, it's broken.
Okay.
So she's going to be going in for surgery today. Our rescue, when we step in, we provide whatever medical needs the animal needs while we're still trying to find the owners. She is past the stray hold period, but we always give a little extra time, to see if there is an owner out there. So if anybody in Wilmette lost their Yorkie, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're not sure what happened to her, whether it was a car accident or something else. We never know, right?
Right.
Right. But she's going to be with, she's in Blue Pearl in Northfield, and Dr. Wilson is an amazing surgeon out there that's going to do the work.
She is adorable. I mean, and all the dogs that you rescue, they all have their own little personalities, and despite the atrocities that they have possibly been through, they're just all so sweet. And so kind of they just want to be loved. And that's why, the work that you do is so important. Please, reach out, look on your website. What's the website?
Yeah. And like this little girl, her
media.
tail wags when you see her and stuff. And we don't know what happened to her. She could have been hit by a car, but there's no other injuries on her except the broken legs. So we're not sure what exactly happened to her. But like this surgery is going to cost $6,000 to $9,000. So that's where the donations that come in absolutely do help. But we will provide whatever the needs are for the dog to get them back together and on their feet. And then if we don't find their owner, she's going to be available for adoption. Texter
was asking if you accept food and those kind of donations.
So we do. We just recently started a food pantry.
Okay.
There's already an existing food pantry that we now donate food to. So whether we use them for our rescues or we share with other rescues. So we work together with the Dog House, which is a boarding facility and training, and they also do grooming. And you can drop food off there. They're at 7254 North Milwaukee Avenue. Any food that's dropped off there will come to, we'll have access to, and we can use it for our rescues, and we can also share it with the food pantry.
You hold so many different fundraisers, and you're in charge of so many different events. Throwback Fest, which used to be Rock the Badges, which was hugely successful this year. That was an absolute blast. You're doing Monster Bash tonight. It's the 2nd annual. Tell us about Monster Bash, and can people still go?
Yes, people can still go. So Monster Bash is our 2nd annual. It's a Halloween party. There'll be costume contests, although costumes aren't required. So if you want to just show up to support the causes, we're raising money for the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, and we're raising money for Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation. It starts at 6 p.m. It's at Firewater, which is in Edison Park.
Oh, I love Firewater.
Yeah, they're great.
That's a great venue.
They're great there. And you can either, when you walk in, you can either make a $10 donation or as much as you want to donate, or you can pay $30 and you get a wristband, and that will come with food and some drinks as well.
Please consider donating or make a donation. Go out there.
And there's a band that's going on tonight. We're going to be karaoke from 4:30 to 7:30. So if you want to come and ruin some songs with us, we'll have fun doing that.
Awesome.
And then the band that's going on at 8 o'clock, they're called Fat Kiss, P-H-A-T.
Oh, that's the Kiss cover band, right?
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
That's great.
They're larger men that are dressed like the Kiss guys, and they play Kiss music. So that goes on at 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's awesome. It's Monster Bash. I love Firewater. It's at Edison Park tonight. Starts at 6 o'clock, and again, the proceeds are split between Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation and
the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation.
That's wonderful. You've been retired, what, a year now?
November 18th will be a year.
So it's been a year.
Yeah,
you
time
look
goes
well
quick.
rested. You look happy.
Yes.
You're doing
very,
something that you love doing.
Very happy.
When you look back, I was going to ask you what you miss. I'm sure probably the camaraderie though. But you bring the dogs to the 16th district a lot. Rubble goes out there a lot.
Yeah, we went back there we were just there last week to cheer the guys up.
Kind of looking back, there's a new superintendent now, who's just coming in, and rank and file seems to really like Superintendent Snelling. But again, it's brand new. What's the state of the police department in your opinion right now? You think morale is inching back up?
There might have been a slight pop in morale with Larry Snelling becoming the new superintendent. It's going to remain to be seen if he's going to be allowed to actually lead the department or if they're still going to run it from the 5th floor of City Hall, the mayor's office. New mayor, though, who knows? Maybe he'll let him do that. But I tell you, morale is as bad as it's ever been. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's not just all doom and gloom, but you've got hundreds here. The 16th district alone, just the other day, had 141 migrants sleeping on the floor in the lobby there. And it's at every police station. There's encampments that are being set up out there now. People are bringing them tents. There's, porta potties have been dropped off, and now warming buses CTA buses are parked out in front of these districts so they can get on and off the bus if they need to, if there's no room inside the station. Right. So that has an impact on the officers as well, not only just for resources, the officers that are working the desk inside. You can imagine the migrants are only able, there's no facilities. There's just a couple of bathrooms. Some of them go down to the park to use showers when they can. Sometimes a bus or a truck will pull up with for them to use to get cleaned up. Mm-hmm. So you've got those situations, and on top of whatever issues are going on in the city, just in general anyways, the regular crime issues, and trying to be the police under the restrictions that have been put in place. And many of those restrictions have been political, and one in particular, the foot chase policy.
Oh, yeah.
The foot chase policy was 100% put in just for political reasons. It has no place in law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And, when an officer has to stop and do a balancing test in their head to decide because somebody's running from them if they're going to go after them or not is ridiculous.
Right.
So,
and if I'm a victim of a crime and someone steals something of mine, I want you to catch the bad person.
Absolutely.
Bad guy, bad girl, whoever it is.
Right. So, if they can focus on officer wellness, eliminate that foot chase policy, rescind the foot chase policy, stop these these unnecessary and politically motivated attempts to fire officers. So where maybe sometimes you might need discipline, you might need retraining things, but they were going to the extreme before because they were just trying to placate a certain voter base. Right.
You still need police. We need to recruit, and obviously people want to be recruited. Men, women. Doesn't matter, where you're from in the city, but we need police in all parts of this city.
Right, and that's the difficult thing when politicians have created such a climate of negativity towards the police, it makes it difficult to recruit people. When I took the police test in 1991, I took the test with 30,000 other people. Now you're lucky if you can get 1,500 people to take the test. So it's extremely difficult to get them. My father was a Chicago police officer. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement today, they're not recommending that their children come on the job, at least not in Chicago. We had over 300 officers resign last year to go to other departments for lateral transfers. So they're not leaving law enforcement, they're leaving Chicago law enforcement. So things definitely need to change here. I think it was a good step in the right direction, promoting Larry Snelling to superintendent. But hopefully that continues, and other things. They need to come up with a plan for these migrants.
Absolutely. Because when you go to a police station and you can't get in, either to file a report or whatnot. Cochran posted a picture the other day, or found a picture online, and it looks like a tornado shelter. You can't step in and just file a report or do business with.
And winter's coming.
Yeah.
Where are they going to go? And here's another thing. I know they're talking about Tent City.
Yeah.
So right now there are some shelters that are set up. I think that's where they've spent the $120 million to pay salaries.
Right. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are some shelters set up. So the officers in the district noticed that a bus would come up, take the migrants, and they would go to a shelter, and it would clear out the station. And he's like, okay, great. Within a couple of days, it fills up again. Yeah. And at first they thought, well, it's just new migrants coming in. And then they discovered it's the same migrants that are coming back. And the reason why they're coming back is because many of them don't like the rules and restrictions that might be put in place at the shelter, and they prefer the freedom to be sleeping on the floor in the police station, to be able to come and go as they please, no curfew. and food's brought to them on a regular basis, whatever they're getting at the shelters, I don't know. So they come back. What do you think is going to happen when you create a tent city where they're going to be confined to these tents? An area that's going to be, this freezing cold outside in January, February, and March. They're not under arrest.
Right.
They're just going to go back to the police stations.
Right.
They've set up a scenario, and I don't know what the resolution is for this. I have no idea. I'm not saying that I do. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be taken care of, but not only they've displaced the homeless.
Right.
Yes. The homeless are no longer allowed out at O'Hare Airport. Remember the stories before that they had all these tents out there set up in O'Hare? That's all been cleaned out because the migrants were complaining that the homeless were eating their food and taking up some of their floor space. So now the homeless have been swept out of there. They get on trains. They ride the trains all night.
Yeah.
When they get up to about Harlem or Cumberland, they're cleared off the trains and put on the other trains, go back the other direction. So
something's got to give. But you know what, though, John? At least you wake up now and you're like, all right, I can hit snooze and sleep for another 20 minutes before I got to deal with with the
definitely.
dogs. It's much happier dealing with the puppies.
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
Well, you are the best. You got to come back again and plug GSRF again and Monster Bash.
Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation. You can catch us. Almost all of our activity is on Facebook, Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation, or you can go to GarridoStrayRescue.org. And tonight we've got Monster Bash at Firewater in Edison Park. Starts at 6 o'clock. It's going to be a great time. 2 great causes, Chicago Police Memorial Foundation and the Garrido Stray Rescue Foundation.
You are the best. Thank you so much for coming in, John.
Thank
you, Captain. Thank you. Captain. Enjoy your time with Captain because he's going to be adopted pretty quick. Maybe by one Nick Gale.
Excellent. Excellent. And prayers for Patty.
And prayers for Patty. Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.